Hey everyone, this is Pallavi, and today we are diving into the 33rd game of the book, The Most Instructive Games of Chess Ever Played by Irving Chernoff. This game was played between Weiss and Blackburne in New York 1889, and the opening played was Center Counter Game. And the topic of the game is Bishop and Pawn Ending Deluxe. Blackburne lost to Weiss in the first round of the Great New York Tournament in 1889. You'll find the full game explained in my last video, but Blackburne struck back in the rematch. What made it especially sweet? He won using the very same endgame setup that had beaten him: bishop and pawns versus bishop and pawns. So without further ado, let's begin. So I started with e4, d5, the center counter game, e takes d5, knight f6, d4, queen takes d5, and then knight c3, developing towards the center and attacking the queen. Queen a5, knight f3, again developing towards the center. c6, a simple safety measure giving the queen a retreat square. After this, white played knight e5, then black played knight b d7. Knight c4 attacking the queen, and the queen goes to d8. If instead queen b4, then a3 and the queen is lost because it's trapped. And if instead queen to a6, then knight d6 check, white wins the queen by discovered attack. So black played queen d8, bishop e2, g6, trying to develop the bishop from g7, d5. Simple development with bishop e3 was better. The coming exchanges only increase the scope of black's king's bishop. Black captured c takes d5, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, and now black developed the bishop from g7 on a long open diagonal. Now white played h4. It may have tried to stop him from castling on the king side, but Blackburne isn't bothered and simply carries on with his plan. Black castles on the king side. h5, knight f6. And now white captured queen takes d8, black captured rook takes d8. H takes g6. Black also captured h takes g6. Now white played bishop to d3. Bishop e6, developing the bishop. Bishop to d2, and now black played rook ac8. This forces a trade that favors black, whose pieces are all actively placed. Now white played knight e5, knight d7. This forces a exchange here. Knight takes d7, and then rook takes d7, bishop to c1. A poor move, but how else can white save the b pawn? Because if bishop to c3, then rook takes c3, b takes c3, bishop takes c3 check, king e2, bishop takes a1, rook takes a1, and black wins a pawn. And if had white played castle on the queen side, then loses immediately to rook takes d3. So after rook takes d7, white played bishop to c1, and now bishop to c4. Bishop h3, rook h3, a strong move that wins a pawn. If instead bishop takes c4, then rook takes c4, c3, rook takes c3, b takes c3, bishop takes c3, check, and black wins 2 pawns. So after rook h3, black captured bishop takes d3, rook takes d3, and then black also captured rook takes d3, c takes d3, and rook c2. The rook reaches the 7th rank, a crushing move that ties black down. Rook b1, supporting the b2 pawn. Bishop to d4. Black's rook and bishop work perfectly together, attacking pawns on both sides of the board. Bishop to d2. Rook takes b2, but bishop takes b2 was a blunder because of king d1, and it's winning for white because it's the rook is under attack, and when the rook moves away, the bishop will be captured. So black captured with the rook, then rook captured b2, White has no choice. If he tries rook a1 to protect the a2 pawn and avoid the rook trade, then rook takes d2 wins a piece immediately. So white captured, rook takes b2, bishop takes b2. The rest is a matter of technique. You'll hear that phrase whenever one side is a pawn up in the endgame. Now we get to see what that really means and how the win is covered step by step. So after this, white played bishop e3, attacking a7, a6, king d2, king f8. Now both the kings are trying to get active. King c2, bishop e5, king b3, king e8, king c4, king d7, king c5, and now bishop c7. This stops the king from coming in, but that alone isn't enough. The king must be pushed back and black's pawns carefully advanced. So now white played f3, black played e6. Notice how careful Blackburne is, unlike in the previous game, to place his pawns on squares opposite the color of his bishop. a4. Not the best move. Black would have had a harder time creating a passed pawn if this pawn had stayed on its original square. Now b6 check. King c4, king c6, bishop f2, f6, bishop e3, bishop d6, bishop d4, attacking f6, e5, bishop e3, and then b5 check, a takes b5 check, a takes b5 check, and just like that, a passed pawn is created. King b3, king d5. Now black is entering the board. Bishop f2, pawn to f5, king c3, g5, and then now g4. After g5, if black could play bishop c5 next move, lining up his pieces perfectly once again. And now here white played g4, f takes g4, and then f takes g4. Now bishop c5, bishop e1, e4. White captured, d takes e4 with a check, king takes e4, now bishop to d2. Black could easily go wrong here if he instinctively protects the pawn with bishop e7, then bishop takes g5, bishop takes g5, and the game is a draw because of after that king b4 and the pawn will be captured. So here after bishop b2, black has to be careful. So black played bishop to e3. He offers a trade, but white cannot afford to accept it. So now white played bishop to e1, king f3, king b4, king takes g4, king takes b5, king f3. The final phase, pushing the pawn through without letting white sacrifice his bishop. King c4, pawn to g4, king e6, bishop f2, blocking the diagonal, bishop a5, g3, bishop c7, g2, and now bishop to h2, blocking the g1 square. Now black played bishop to b6. The ending is a fine study and is played with masterly skill by Mr. Blackburne, said Steinitz at this point. King d2. Now black played king to g4, and now white resigns because there is no way to stop king h3 followed by pawn promotion. So let's look at some key principles, key lessons learned from this game. Number 1, learn from your losses. Blackburne lost the same type of ending earlier, but this time he played it perfectly. Number 2, active pieces are powerful. His rook and bishop worked together and kept attacking. Number 3, a rook on the 7th rank is very strong. It attacks pawns and traps the opponent's king. Number 4, in endgames, improve step by step. When you are a pawn up, stop the enemy king, bring your king closer, push your pawns carefully. And number 5, be patient. One careless move could have led to a draw. Good technique means staying calm and playing carefully. The big idea, stay active, stay patient, and convert your advantage slowly. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this game as well. Please don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.